1 week away from the NFL draft, and we're joined by someone who grew up a Jet fan. He played college ball at Michigan and then transferred to Syracuse, where he started as a tight end. Dan Villari joins us now. Dan, welcome to the show. I know this pre-draft process for you, I'm sure, has been crazy. What's it like knowing, hey, 1 week from today, you're going to get a much better idea on where you might be playing professional football?
How you doing, Jake? Thanks for having me, man. No, it's surreal, bro. It's really surreal. Since I was 6 years old, I've honestly been thinking about this day coming up, and it's been a lot of work, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of obstacles and hard times. So I'm a little anxious, I'm a little anxious, but I'm excited.
You've had a fascinating career. I remember reading about, all your success that you had in high school growing up on Long Island. You were a quarterback, a three-star recruit. You end up going to Michigan to play for Jim Harbaugh. Can you walk us through what the recruiting process was like as a high schooler coming out of Plainedge?
Yeah, so I didn't start at quarterback until 11th grade on varsity. But pretty much got a ton of FCS offers. I committed to Fordham after my junior year, and to be honest, I knew I wasn't going to Fordham. My dream was to always play big time Power Five ball. So I knew after another killer senior year, I'll get some more offers. So we went undefeated. We won the Long Island Championship, and of all people, Jim Harbaugh calls my head coach and, says that they're interested in me. And they actually offered me on signing day, December 13th, and I took it right away. I didn't even entertain the other schools. All the big schools started coming right at signing day and after that, but I just took Michigan right away. It was a great opportunity.
What was it like to go from thinking you might play at Fordham to now you're playing at a school that is as prestigious as any in the entire sport of college football?
You know what? I just always knew. I just my heart and my mind was set out to playing big time ball, and I knew I was good enough. It was hard on Long Island getting noticed, but it's weird. You just have that unbelievable faith in yourself, and it's worked out for me my whole career. Just having faith and matching it with hard work.
So, Dan, walk me through how it works. You're a quarterback recruit. You initially commit to Fordham, and then you get the opportunity to go play for Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. You're there for 2 years before you then transfer to Syracuse, but you're transferring as a tight end. So, what was the process like to go from Michigan to Syracuse? And oh, yeah, hey, you're going to be playing a different position.
No, I was a quarterback at Michigan the whole time, only a quarterback, and I felt like I was getting better each year, and I felt like I was picking up the offense real well. But obviously, JJ McCarthy was there, and he was the guy, so I wanted to go play now. I wanted to go compete. I hit the portal, and Jason Beck, the quarterback coach, tells me I can compete right now. And I was like, all right, I'm coming there. I don't need a visit. I don't need to see anything. I just want to come compete. And Syracuse was my dream school coming out of high school because it's just New York's team. Like I'm a big New York guy. So, Jets and everything. So I took the opportunity. I came to Cuse as a quarterback, competed in the spring, competed in camp, and got beat out. But they saw the athletic ability. They saw me trying to run people over as a quarterback. They saw me hurdling dudes in practice. So they were like, we want to try you at flex Y or tight end. And, if you want to play quarterback, you got to transfer. So I didn't want to be that guy bouncing around. So it was a tough decision, but um, it worked out really well.
For you, the fact that you have a background playing quarterback and then you make that switch, what was the biggest adjustment that you had to go through? And did your experience as a quarterback, having to see the field, knowing where everyone's supposed to be, how did that help you pick up what you needed to do to learn the tight end position?
You know what? They threw me on scout team like the next day. They switched me. So the biggest adjustment was kind of not really having a coach helping me on scout team. It was kind of just run this card, look at this card, do this. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just out there trying to hit people. So I had no technique or anything. So the biggest adjustment was getting a lot of reps and learning the technique, learning your footwork, hat and hands, stuff like that, learning the technique of running routes. It's very detailed stuff. So I would say the inline blocking, coming from quarterback to blocking those huge DNs was the biggest adjustment at first, but I just attacked it every day with enthusiasm and physicality. So I got really good at it pretty fast, and then I saw a future in this.
Dan, for you, I mean, the Syracuse website, it lists you at 6'4", 245 pounds. Like, how much weight, muscle did you have to add? Obviously, going from quarterback to playing tight end, you were a big guy to begin with, but what was that, body transformation like to have to play a different position?
In 2022, my first year at Syracuse, I was actually around 250 as a quarterback. So I actually shedded 10 to 15 pounds because I was
Wow.
like, I got to be in running shape. I got to run around and be explosive. So I started eating really good. I ate like four four eggs with raw broccoli every morning for like 2 months straight, and I shedded 15 pounds of fat so fast. And then, I was like 235, and then they're like, all right, you got to put on another 5, 10 pounds to play tight end. So then I just had to eat a little bit more. But yeah, I started off as, a big guy, and then I shedded some weight for tight end.
That's impressive, man. I would have thought it would have been a lot harder, that you would have had to add way more weight. Turns out you had no problem losing the weight. You were already there. When did it really, I guess, maybe click for you at the tight end spot where you thought, hey, like, I'm actually going to be potentially a draftable player. Like, I'm a legit NFL draft prospect. I mean, did you know right away when you made the switch this was your future? But when did you kind of get the feeling this could actually be something beyond just playing high level college football?
Yeah, I knew I'd be really good at it, but it didn't hit me until 2023, my second season kind of being a tight end. Aronde Gatson got hurt week one. So I got to be the full-time guy. And, I just remember catching a sail against Clemson and scoring a 30-yard touchdown. I must have made like four guys miss, and I scored. It was my first touchdown ever. And that moment like really hit me like, all right, like you could do this at a high level. And then that season, I was like the guy getting the ball. A lot of times we struggled on offense, but they wanted to get me that ball. And my quarterback, Garrett Schrader, got hurt, and now I'm playing quarterback full time. I started like 4 games at quarterback, and we won two of them, and we should have won three of them. So we should have won three out of the four of them, and I had a lot of success, at Wildcat. So I felt the buzz from scouts, like, this guy can do a lot of things.
That's awesome. I mean, the fact
Yeah.
that you have that quarterback background, you were able to fill in a pinch. I was doing some homework knowing I was going to have you on, Dan, and a bunch of scouts that I was talking to, they said that you became a favorite, like, among the area scouts because of your toughness and your athletic urgency was a term they used. What does that mean
Hmm.
to you that you're learning a brand new position and here you are? You've impressed a lot of the local scouts whose job is to evaluate talent all throughout the season.
Yeah, I would just say I think I switched positions about three years ago. I've had only 3 years at a new position, and I've played at a really high level, and I think I'm one of the best tight ends in the country already. And you could only imagine how much better I'm gonna get. My best football's ahead of me. Um, and I just think each year I'm just gonna get exponentially better, and I'm gonna be one of the best guys around, just because of the upside. So that's what I would say about that. And the ability to, I played quarterback, I played tailback, I played fullback, I played the Y, I played the F wing, I played in the slot, I played special teams. So just the ability to do a lot of things, and the football IQ.
It's hard to come from Long Island and get recognized. You and I were talking about
Yeah.
this off air. Jerry Rucker, who's a tight end on the Jets right now, just signed a second deal to remain with them. He's a Lindenhurst kid. Your thoughts just on Long Island football and how maybe underrated it potentially is? Because it feels like there's maybe been a couple guys, yourself included, over the last, let's say, 5 to 10 years that are starting to be on some teams' radars at the college level and then hopefully the next level in the NFL.
Yeah, I think the high school programs are not as decorated as the Georgias and the Floridas and the Californias. Maybe because they get to play all year round because of the weather. I'm not sure there, but I think people don't know there's really good players on Long Island. There's diamonds on Long Island. You just got to go find them. And there's guys that I know, every guy I know on Long Island that dedicated their life to the game, like they've made it and they've done really well. So I just think there's really good players on Long Island, but just the programs aren't as you know, aren't as noticed as these other states.
You were a lacrosse fan too growing up. Did you play at all? Because that's what Long Island typically is known for, the lac scene. I mean, I had friends of mine from Syosset High School that played at Johns Hopkins or Columbia, Duke, you name it. It feels like Long Island lacrosse is still a hotbed. Your thoughts just on lacs? Because I know, did you play or were you just a fan
Yep.
growing up?
No, I love lax. I played. I played baseball growing up, and then I switched to lacrosse in 8th grade. And I never even worked on it outside of practice. It was just kind of a fun thing for me and to stay in shape for football. But my junior year, I had like 40 goals as a midfielder, and I was like, my coach was like, "Yo, don't make me send this tape out because you're gonna get some offers." And I was like, he's like, "You want me to?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm playing football." So it was all about football.
You had to like lax because it's probably the closest sport you could play where you actually get to hit people, at least in men's
E-
lacrosse on Long Island.
Exactly. Baseball, you stand around too much, you don't hit anybody. Lacrosse was the closest thing to it. Um, and it's a Long Island thing for sure.
Yeah, you were definitely made to be a tight end, which I think people could
Yeah.
hear that coming out. So Dan, let me ask you this, right? So you said before you grew up a Jets fan. I mean, what's your earliest Jet fan memory? Because I know your whole family grew up Jet fans as well.
You know what? My earliest memories is just every Sunday, my dad's a huge Jet fan, his whole family. My dad would just lay on the couch like this, and I'd be a little kid on the end of the couch just watching the entire game with him, every single Sunday. And we would have friends over, we would make pizza, homemade pizza, and watch the games. Um, and yeah, we didn't miss a Jet game for years, every Sunday, when Sanchez was back there and stuff like that. But yeah, just always been loyal to the Jets, man, regardless of how it goes every year.
I know the Jets attended the local pro day that it always gets put together for a player like yourself. Can you take us inside and the interactions you had with people from the Jets? How were those conversations?
Yeah, I feel like me and Coach Roberts, the tight end coach, really connected. I love the way he was teaching us stuff, and he said this one thing. He said he wants tail waggers. Like when you come to the door, every dog is wagging their tail. They're just ready to go. They're ready to play. And he said, I want guys that are ready to play, no matter where you're at, no matter how you're feeling. And I feel like that just fits me perfectly. Like I love football and I'm always ready to go. I'm always ready to strap it up. So I felt like I connected real well with him. And I loved Coach Glenn. He seemed like a guy you want to run through the wall for sure.
All right, Asmaniacs, listen up for a second. No matter what you're watching, whether it's New York sports or any game you didn't plan on caring about, there's no better way to stay locked in than with PrizePicks. It's daily fantasy made simple. You're just picking more or less on player projections. That's it. No complicated lineups, no nonsense. Just you versus the numbers. And here's why I love it. Even if it's a game you normally wouldn't care about, once you got a lineup going, you're locked in. Every play matters, every drive matters, every at-bat matters. I've been mixing sports too. Maybe a little football, throwing some baseball, maybe some basketball, and now you've got action across the board all night, and PrizePicks makes it even better with features like early cash outs if your picks are hitting, the ability to mix multiple sports in one lineup, and you can even see what other people are playing and tail their picks. So if you haven't tried it yet, what are you doing? Download the PrizePicks app right now. Use code HMA. That's HMA, and you'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, it's HMA on PrizePicks. PrizePicks, where it always feels good to be right. For you, grew up a Jet fan. Who are the other teams? Were you a Yankees guy, a Mets guy? You're from Long Island, so typically it goes, Jets and Mets. But who were your baseball teams? Your basketball fan, hockey? Give us the whole New York sports lowdown.
Yeah, I'm a little Not on the not like you just said. I'm the Jets, Yankees, and Rangers.
Ooh,
Uh,
I'm a Yankees guy, so we at least
yeah,
we have baseball and football together.
yeah, but only because my closest buddies growing up were big Ranger fans, big Yankee fans, and Giant fans. So I stayed loyal to my dad and my family, being a Jet fan. But then, I didn't really watch baseball or hockey much, but when I'm hanging out with them, they are. So I naturally became one, and they won more than the other teams. So that's always good.
For sure. All right, you're a Long Island guy. You're from Massapequa. I'd be remiss
Yeah.
if I didn't ask you what your go-to is when you go to All American with your friends or family.
Oh man, it's been a while. Can't eat like that anymore. Trying to play at a high level, but I would just get like I can eat a lot. I'll get like 2 to 3 burgers, quarter pound burgers, and fries. That's it.
Tough to beat.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. That's it. That's all you need. Two of those things.
Love it. Dan, final question. If a team drafts you, and I'm hoping it's the New York Jets, what type of player are they getting if they run in the card with your name on it?
Yeah, I mean they're getting a versatile, tough, and a great teammate. A guy that's gonna bring it every single day in practice and in games, and just a really talented player with a lot of upside, who loves the game and is passionate about this thing and who wants to be one of the greatest ever.
Dan, continued success, man. I'm sure you and your whole family's anxious throughout this process, but looking forward to hopefully hearing your name called and continued success in your career. It's awesome to see another Long Island guy, entering the NFL.
Thank you, Jake. Thanks for having me on, brother.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.